Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Adorned with Dignity. Today we're on day 31 and we're talking about the benefits of upgrading the level covering the hair. And it states that in today's times, every small step we take to upgrade our level of performing this mitzvah is valued very highly in Shemaim. And indeed, many righteous women in today's generation have taken upon themselves to elevate on their level of the way they cover their heads. And they feel that if they're makmir and when it comes to any other mitzvah, then why should this mitzvah be any different? And I couldn't agree more. I mean, again, this is like I've never heard anything that makes less sense than to say that we can deviate from the way to do this mitzvah. I don't hear it. That's like you getting a job and you're going for the training and they're telling you, I'll teach you how to do the job when you're ready to learn how to do it. But for now, you do it whatever way you want to do it. And I've never heard of such a logic, and I don't know why it's become so acceptable. Again, there is this concept of either ignorance or not knowing how to do it, and that's one thing, right? That's one level. But I think that there's almost become this accepted fallback answer of I'm not ready, which is almost for many people, not all people, but for many people, it's kind of replaced the I don't want to do it or I don't want to be told. And this is what the politically correct answer has become. And it just is mind boggling to me. And I don't understand the rationale of it. Or, has it become just such a great lie that the Yetzirah has managed to tell so many people that you're not ready, so you don't have to perform it right. It's like saying a bracha halfway and thinking that somehow it was okay. So this is really something that in this generation, as much as many people don't like to hear it, is the amass. That is what it is. It's one thing if you don't know it and you're learning how to do any mitzvah, especially this one, that's one thing. But when you're 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 10 years, 15, 20, all your life, I mean, there's a problem here. There's a problem here. And I'm sorry, it just can't be the same old, day in and day out. We're constantly moving. We have to be moving forward, not backwards or staying still. Has v'shalom. So it gives examples. It says on Pesach, we're stringent to clean our homes from even the small crumbs of chametz. We would never compromise on kashrus, and we would rarely discard food that we suspect is being non-kosher. And on Hanukkah, we each male member of the family lights an additional candle every night. So when it comes to this mitzvah tznuis, why are we compromising? And we've seen it. If you're on like any of these chats, like WhatsApp or whatever, you do see this. You see 10,000 questions about, is this kosher? Can I give this? Can I take that? Can I, turn the clock before sundown at this direction? I mean, we ask all these questions, mamash, a lot of questions, except for the ones that really, really are so like the most important ones, and that is tznuis. And I've said this before, if I were doing classes on challah baking and all important things, don't get me wrong, don't take what I'm saying out of context. Challah baking, lighting candles, all these things are so important. They're so important. But the mitzvah of tznuis, it just seems like we're really ready to just disregard it. And it's almost like we've shoved our hands over our ears and we're going, la, 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 la. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Don't tell me. I don't want to hear it. And it's a real big problem in our generation. It says the reward for growth in this mitzvah. And it says that the Chesed L'Paim teaches that most of the schar that a woman receives in the next world is dependent on her tznuis. And he adds the most of her punishment a woman receives in the next world is due to the lack of tznuis. So, and how do we know this? We know that every woman mentioned in the Torah, there's always some kind of mention of her modesty, whether it's inadvertently or the situation she finds herself in. It always has to do with something regarding tznuis. And so thus we find that this is the most important mitzvah that a woman can do in this world. And not only that, it has the potential to do the most damage because it's not just you're taking down. When you're not dressing modestly, it's not just you that it's affecting everyone else. And we see this very clearly in the generation, the sunkenness of this generation. We see that very clearly. It says in the letter that was written in Elul 5735, the Gedolim assured women who will restore the crown of tznuis to its original glory, that they would be saved from the sufferings before Mashiach. I'm going to read that again. In a letter that was written in Elul 57:35, Gedolim assured women who will restore the crown of tznuis to its original glory that they would be saved from the sufferings before Mashiach. This letter was signed by the following Rabbanim: the adheres, Harav Yitzhak Yaakov Weiss, Harav Moshe Arefrund, Harav Yosef Yaakov Fisher, and Harav Benjamin Rabinovitz, and also Harav Yisachar Dov Goldstein. It says, inner happiness upon performing the will of Hashem. It says, upon upgrading the level of head covering, a woman will feel inner calm and peace of mind, knowing that she's fulfilling the will of Hashem. And they give a story of a woman who attested that when she as soon as she upgraded her head covering, that she felt this tangible presence of Hashem, just like when she walked into a sukkah, and when you come close to the kosel, and that's how she felt, and she felt that Hashem's hand was literally on her head, protecting her from all harm. Another one says, since I've upgraded the level covering my hair, I became a calmer person. Indeed, Hashem wants to give us this inner peace of mind and feeling of closeness to Him, but we need to choose and trust Him. And, there's something, it is, very much the way a baby, a newborn, there's times when they're very agitated. Nothing will comfort them, only the swaddling of a cloth. And it really is that feeling that you get when your hair is wrapped up in a tikkun. There is almost this, like you're being hugged from Shemaim, that Hashem is telling you, I've got you in this, I've got you in this world, I've got you in everything, I'm here with you. It is literally like Shema Yisrael, and just into the tangible manifestation, that everything is wrapped up in that crown, and it's sitting on your head, just protecting your thoughts, protecting everything you're doing, and you just know, it literally feels like that's the connection right there, the spiritual into the physical, that you can really just put your hand up and feel it, and you feel this connection. And again, it's not an easy thing to get into. So, I think that my biggest thing is that I don't want to see that anyone, has v'shalom, should just accept. We would never accept mediocre in anything else. We would never accept mediocre in anything else. And I think that we've become so eager and reticent to accept mediocre as what's best for our life, and this is all I can do. And there are times in our life when that is a true statement. That is all that you can do. And if that's where you are, then this soapbox moment is not for you. But there are people, and I know that there are people who are listening to this who'll say that I know that I can be doing better and I'm not doing better. And that doesn't mean that you go out and you change everything tomorrow. Everything is step by step. You don't go out and you change everything tomorrow. But you can't just be complicit with this sheker that the Yetzirah has told you that you're not ready. And it's almost like you're not ready and you'll never be ready. And there was something that I remember when my son, he was joining the Marine Corps. And, they had to constantly be training in order to qualify. You can't even, it's not like you can just join the Marine Corps. They literally have to keep qualifying. And I remember one of the tests was that he had to do an X amount of push-ups. And I remember saying, because we were watching one of his qualifications, and I remember saying, I could never do a push-up. And the staff sergeant said to me something very amazing, very profound, right? There's wisdom in everything, even from the Goyim. And he said, if you say that you can never, then you will never, because you've already told your mind that it's not possible. And I thought, wow, that was so, that it's like Hashem was speaking right through his mouth. It's the same thing with this mitzvah. If you say I can never, then you will never, because you've already told yourself that you cannot. So you have to change that recording in your head. Hashem has made you with such koyach and strength that it's possible to do anything. You need only to ask Hashem and believe that you can do it. And with his help, you will. So that's it for today, and I hope we'll all be together again soon. B'ezrat Hashem.